inspired today to talk about love. One thing that comes up quite a bit, a question that's often asked in astrology: how do I find my love? How do I find my soulmate? Why do I struggle so much in relationships? What can I do to attract the person I'm meant to be with? All these different questions come up and can be answered in astrology. It's natural for us to want to love, to want to bond, to want to unify with another person. It's natural for us to express our hearts and share our lives with another. But it doesn't mean it's easy. It can be very confusing, and oftentimes we find ourselves in painful situations or in situations that are confusing. We don't understand why we're in them. So we can use astrology to help navigate these waters, to help understand ourselves more so than another person. So the first thing we do is we look at what sign is on the 7th house, because this will indicate how you are most likely to respond in relationships or to a relationship, or when the potential of a relationship presents itself in your life. Whatever sign is on the cusp will dictate how you will likely react to that. So we pull up your natal chart and we go directly over to the 7th house here. The 7th house rules all things that have to do with relationship, partnership, connection, bonding with another person. You see, it's the opposite of the 1st house. Over here in the 1st house, it has to do with I am. I am this. I am now present and alive and projecting my life out into the world. But when we go through the process and make it to the 7th house, now the I am seeks to relate and bond and connect with another. This is the catch here. A lot of people think, oh, I can use astrology, and astrology is going to be like, oh, I need to find a Taurus who does this and does that and acts this way and acts that way. But my approach is self-awareness. My approach is, how am I projecting myself out into the world in a way that is calling in and attracting the highest and best, not only for myself, but for the other person as well. It's a two-way street. So again, it pulls it into self-awareness and is in a way taking responsibility for our own projections out into the world, for our own understanding of who we are. Instead of projecting that onto another person, we're like, oh, okay, I'm an emotional person, so I need someone who reflects that emotions. Or if I'm too emotional, perhaps I need somebody that heats that up a bit, adds a little more fire to that water. There's so many different ways to look at it. So again, it's not so black and white. Okay, now the second part to that equation is we're going to take the ruling planet of that sign, or ruling planets depending on what it is on the cusp, and we find those within the chart. Let's use this chart as a model. So again, we come from the cusp of the 1st house all the way over to the 7th house. This is the 7th house, which rules relationships, partnerships, union and bonding, contracts, anything that has to do with bonding and unifying with another person. That happens here in the 7th house. Now this particular chart has Aquarius on the cusp. So right away, that tells us that this is a unique expression of love. It's outside of your common everyday approach. It's going to be more in a way that has to do with the individual. It's a very independent, likely, expression of partnership. So again, Aquarius ruled by Uranus down here in the 3rd house, the house of communication, the house of relating with another person in a way that expresses the intellect and the mind. So this person is likely going to need somebody that stimulates the mind, an area where they have good communication, an area where they enjoy expressing intellectual concepts with one another. Aquarius is also ruled by Saturn, which we find up here in the 10th house. 10th house has to do with the career. It has to do with life purpose, with being seen out in the world. So this person needs to be seen. They need to have a partnership that really supports their career. Likely it doesn't take away from their career. Likely there needs to be a balance between the partnership and the time spent together and the individuality within the career. Communication, career, partnership. There's a triad here, a trinity here, that this person will need in order to fully express their truth and attract to them the partner that is really in alignment with who they are. So again, this is how astrology can help you. It shows you alignments. It shows you energy forms and energy patterns that are a necessity for who you are. Because if you go against this and you go against what you actually need and what is being expressed here in the chart, it's likely going to bring up difficulty. It's likely going to be a challenge for you. So allow this chart, allow this map to help you, help guide you, and help you better understand what it is that you need out there in relationships, what it is that you seek and desire to attract toward you in harmony with who you are. The third thing you would want to look at are any planets that are actually posited or positioned inside the seventh house itself, because that would indicate certain capacities and certain archetypes that find themselves at home and comfortable within your partnerships, within your expression of companionship, expression of bonding with another person. So those are the three basic techniques that we would use within astrology to better understand who we are within the realms of partnership and relationship, as well as to see what energies we are likely pushing out there to attract back to us. The way to use this, again, is self-awareness. See the tendencies that we have to act in a certain way. Decide if, that's serving my higher self, that's serving the bigger picture. And if it is, continue forward, keep moving that direction. However, if it's not, you have a chance now to modify that and be like, okay, I tend to respond this way. It leads to this area, which isn't so great, it's potentially painful or detrimental in some way. So you modify that and you change it. And now you're like, I'm going to respond in this way because I want to change that and attract a more positive essence, a more positive spirit into my life. And then you relate on that level. That's, again, the beauty of astrology. And that's how astrology can help us understand who we are, how we relate to others, and in a way, find our most perfect love and perfect partnership that serves the greater and bigger picture of all. I hope this made sense. I hope it inspired you to better understand who you are in relationship to yourself, as well as the energies that you are putting out into the universe, into your world, and attracting back to you. If you have any questions, please comment below or reach out to me directly. I'd be happy to help better understand how astrology can help you. Please subscribe to my channel and we'll keep this conversation happening and moving forward. And thank you so much. Sending you so much love.